the skinwalkers play. We're gonna wrangle chickens and hogs all day. Pastoral life is the best. Eggs and chickens.
Alright, so welcome back to the Hidden Valley Skinwalker Ranch, and today we've got an interesting video. You can ignore the chickens in the background because we're talking about haunted guns today because it's Halloween. So I figured I would do a little Halloween special while she digs for worms over there. Anyways, back in I want to say this was 2013 because it was when mosins were very cheap and I had just gotten out of high school. 2013, 2014. And I was at a shitty little gun show. It wasn't a very big one. It was, probably like maybe 40, 50 tables, something like that. And they had a table. The surp guy had, at the time, a lot of, mosins, Yugo Mausers, etc. Going around. And they were all reasonable, but they had a particularly beat-up M44 and M38 carbines, and both of them were in horrific shape. The M44, somebody had painted, I don't know if this was a field thing, but somebody had painted the top handguard black, and nothing else was done to it, but it was counterboard, had a lot of nasty dried cosmoline in it. I don't know if that was from the importer or not. And the M38 was pretty much the same, except for it wasn't painted on the top handguard, but it was probably even had more pitting on the bolt, worse shape. I went with the M38 because they were rarer and paid, I believe at the time, $170, $160, wasn't much, and took it home. And very unpleasant to shoot little gun. But I did notice it was freakishly accurate for a counterboard little mosin carbine. I don't know what the deal was with that. I found that weird. So I ended up putting it, it went in the back of the safe or whatever, in the surp safe I have. And I didn't think much of it because I had other mosins. I had a bunch of M9130's, like the one you're looking at here was bought back then. So I didn't think much of it. The weird thing started happening probably when I had it for about 2 months. I'd go into the safe and notice somehow this M38 would make its way to the front of the stack of guns, even though I would deliberately set it in the back. Which I don't know how that was happening, but that was strange because I documented this, and I don't think it was anyone fucking with me or anything because I documented this. But it was weird. Sometimes the bolt also would be open like this and just sticking out like that. So I don't know what was up with that and why it was so accurate despite being a counterboard, ugly, beat up turd basically. But yeah, weird stuff. And I always had kind of weird feelings with that gun. It had something about it when you picked it up. I don't know if it was used in World War II. I'm guessing all of them were to some extent, although most of them that are here probably didn't get into frontline issue or anything, except for the Finnish mosins. They probably all were. But that's right. You tell them, Pearl. But yeah, it was a weird occurrence. I ended up selling that gun because I got offered way too much money than what I paid for it. Someone bought it for $500. And I didn't really like the mosin carbines that much. They're not they're fun to shoot, but they're not practical really. They're just, the fireball they produce. I don't know, maybe a little nice carbine if you're going fishing in somewhere like Alaska because it could deal with a bear pretty easily. But yeah, so I sold it. But that's my experience with kind of a haunted gun. I don't know if it was or not, but it did do weird stuff like that. And it was a particularly beat up example, if that had anything to do with it or not. But yeah, there's my surplus story for the day. It's Halloween, so there you go.